Hi guys, welcome to another great episode of Soccerkalitzstyle. It took me a while to do this little show because I first had to get over the loss of the weekend and that sort of stuff. But yeah, my heart is healed now and we can go on with the show. So first of all, let's look at this. And that picture there, right there, optimizes the whole game. The Everton versus Liverpool game, the Merseyside derby that took place this weekend at Anfield. What a match that was, because just for the fact that Everton scored early and then Gylfi Sigurdsson also sealed that goal, that win with a goal in a penalty in the dying minutes. Liverpool weren't really into that game that much. Because you could see the lack of wins that has been happening to them in the Premier League. It has really been taking its toll on them, and also the players, they really look tired. They don't look like people that has a plan to scuff Everton. With that being said, let's not take away anything from Everton. Carlo Ancelotti really set up his team great for this match in terms of the defensive qualities. You could see that the game plan was defend and hit them on the counter attack. But this game means such a lot for a lot of players. You could see after the match, Seamus Coleman, the interview he had, he was buzzing. Apparently, he was 10 years old when they last won there at Everton. So he's been an Everton boy his whole life, and it's been a dream for him to lead the team into winning Liverpool for the first time in what was 21 years, if I am correct, or 24 years. So this could be a turning point for Everton's season, and also a turning point for Liverpool's season, because Everton is now equal on points with them. And last year this time, Liverpool were about 40 points out of Everton. So that just means, and that just shows you the craziness of this season. And that man there in the picture, Richarlison, he really had the better of Trent Alexander-Arnold through that whole match. As you can see, Trent Alexander-Arnold is frustrated as he's trying to attempt to headbutt Richarlison here. There was a lot of guys that performed well, including Sigurdsson, including Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who always looked to stretch the Liverpool defense out of their comfort zone. And you could see that they couldn't cope with the threat that was being thrown to them. So Liverpool really miss Virgil van Dijk, who's on a speedy recovery, as I can follow on his Instagram pages and what so more. He's on the steady decline to come back. He's been training well on his own, him and Gomez. So let's hope they come back, and let's hope they come to strengthen the Liverpool side, who's really falling apart now. He's really falling apart now. In Klopp, you could sense that there is some trouble brewing at Anfield. With that being said, let's look forward to the next game. Guys, let's not forget to tune in tonight to the show, as I will be dissecting the weekend with my fellow colleagues, Brandon from that For the Fans. And then also we have that Guna guy, Muhammad, who's also going to be with me on the show. We will be dissecting this weekend's games and also the games that's to come in the Europa League this week. So, Manchester City versus Arsenal. This was a game that really promised a lot in terms of Manchester City showing their dominance and showing that they are really a title contenders, and which they did. But as for me, I don't feel that Manchester City was that dominant. I just still feel it was a lack of concentration from the Arsenal side, a lack of leadership from the Arsenal side, because we've been conceding these early goals quite a lot these couple of matches that's been going on. So the game started with Manchester City fairly brightly. Raheem Sterling, the shortest man on the pitch, getting the better of Rob Holding in a header, which is still debatable. We don't know how Raheem Sterling got up there to get that header in front of Rob Sterling. Rob Holding should really be looking back and saying to himself that he can't believe that this little man beat him. With that being said, City started brightly. They had the game in control for the first 15 minutes, after which Arsenal grew into the game a bit more. Saka and Tierney especially going down the left hand side, creating lots of problems with Tierney going on the overlap and Saka dropping back. But with that being said, there wasn't any cutting edge quality chances being created for Aubameyang, and when Aubameyang had chances, he was woeful. He really didn't look like the guy that scored a hat-trick last weekend. He looked like the guy that played in the Europa League. So I don't know why Arteta didn't start Lacazette, because Lacazette was fresher, and you could see when Lacazette came onto the game, those two changes that he made with Lacazette and Emile Smith-Rowe, the tempo of the game and the quality of the game immediately shook up. So I would have started with Laka and Smith-Rowe in that positions. I know Smith-Rowe has played a lot of football, but still, he's the number 10. Martin Odegaard started the game on 10 for Arteta. He showed glimpses of quality again, but not that much, which is understandable because he is into a new league. It's new adaptations that he needs to do. It's a new team that he's getting into, and he's playing against the runaway league leaders at the moment, which is City. City wasn't that clinical this time in the game. City wasn't that cutting edge. A lot of people could say that City had an off day on the day, but I would just say that it was the way that Arteta set up his team to scuff the chances of City. He didn't let City play their normal game. He didn't let City get into the rhythm of playing. So after they conceded the goal, Arsenal really came back stronger, but never looked like a team that was going to win the game, simply because the chances that were being created weren't clear cut, and Aubameyang didn't bring his firing boots with. So with that being said, City is deservedly the winners, and they march on to go for the title, which I don't think anyone will be able to stop them right now. This team that City has, even the second team that City has, will be devastating. Remember, there's still guys out. Guys like Aguero, there's still guys like Ferran Torres. So City still has a lot of firing capabilities that they can still bring up near to the closing stages of the season. So Pep Guardiola and his men, they are really looking like the title challengers again this year, and someone needs to stop them. On to the next game. Right, we had West Ham and Tottenham, a London derby which promised for Jose Mourinho's side. If they could win this derby, they would really shoot up the ranks, and they would get back into top 4 contention. And West Ham was also playing to stay in the top 4 and shoot up to the top 4. And West Ham has really been a revelation this season. West Ham has surprised a lot of people with the consistency that they had during the season. It's not since now that West Ham is in the top 4. They started the season really brightly with the acquisitions that they made, especially that guy there, Jesse Lingard. He's been a revelation for West Ham. I think Manchester United is really seeing the value of this guy now that he's went out on loan. I think this was one of the best choices that Jesse Lingard made for himself in order to get some game time. And the game time he got at West Ham, and the trust that David Moyes put in him, you could really see it's paying off, and he's showing off. And because David Moyes is getting the best out of this boy. Again, he was on the scoring sheet this weekend against the Tottenham side, which looked like title contenders in the beginning of the season because they were up there. The new manager Bounce, Jose Mourinho's style was working for them, but since then they've been going off the boil and not performing consistently as that they should. But let's just take away anything from West Ham. Antonio started the game very brightly with the opener for West Ham. Also a really underrated player in my opinion, that is Mikel Antonio, which is a really physical and strong player, but he's also very skillful. You would say that he can use his body and his attribute that he has, like Adama Traore, but he's also a very skillful player. He knows how to go past players. He has space, he has strength, he has everything that you need to survive in this league and to be successful in this league. So he opened the scoring, Mikel Antonio, and then Jesse Lingard sealed the win for the side of London, which makes West Ham now the top rated side in London, ahead of the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal and obviously Tottenham, which is really surprising because West Ham was never that team. But this is the Premier League, and you have to be ready for anything, and you have to be ready for any challenge that comes your way. So, with that being said, Jesse Lingard, I hope all the best for you at West Ham, and I hope you score many more goals, and I hope that Manchester United will bring you back into the fore, and that you will continue with your upward curve and your performances that you've been putting in for West Ham. So big up to you, Jesse Lingard. According to me, you are my player of the week. In the last game, last and not least, this man again is in the picture, Mr. Fernandes. Again, integral in the win against Newcastle, 3-1. Bruno Fernandes was again the one pulling the strings in the midfield, creating chances, setting up chances and scoring goals for himself, which makes it Manchester United to go back in front of Leicester in the second place. And now the second place challenge is really heating up because Leicester won against Aston Villa. Another great performance there by Jamie Vardy and the boys. And Brendan Rodgers' team and his stocks just keep on rising up. So that was a good win for Aston Villa versus Leicester. Manchester United and Newcastle. I think Newcastle is really in deep trouble because they had a good chance to go a few points clear of the relegation candidates, and they didn't take their chance, so which brings them back into the relegation fold. So if one of those bottom three guys should win, like Fulham, who had a great win over the weekend, big 3 points for Fulham, but West Ham is really looking to me like they could be relegation threatened guys. So that is my little review of the weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Look out for the show tonight. We will be discussing the games that be coming up, the Europa League games, and also we will be dissecting some of the facts that happened over the weekend. So you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and comment. This is Soccerkalitzstyle signing out.